reading book on pausing and money. Written by me, Eric Wadell. First draft, November 2025. Chapter 1. What is pausing? Spontaneous behavior and conscious skill. Pausing is an age-old thing, but also a new thing. It is a natural behavior that we spontaneously do every now and then, but it is also a skill that we may develop consciously. Say that you are walking down the street and a healthy pigeon crosses your path. The pigeon makes you pause for a second or two. It makes you think for a moment. Then it scampers off and you continue walking. This would be an example of when we pause spontaneously or unconsciously. We just do it and exert no effort in doing it. Say that you the next day are walking down the same street and you arrive at the same place where you met with the pigeon. Now you consciously pause for a second or two and have a moment with yourself. Perhaps you smile as the expression of the bird replays before your mind's eye. Or perhaps you look up into the nearby tree to see if the pigeon is resting there. Either way, this would be an example of you pausing as a conscious skill. This is when we choose to pause because we want to. Pausing is both of these examples above. Pausing is both spontaneous and a choice of ours. Pausing is both unconscious and conscious. But pausing is still more than that. As we develop pausing into a conscious skill, in time, our unconscious and conscious moments of reflection will start working together as one. It is an exciting thing. We can meet with a pigeon both on life's time schedule, but also on our own time schedule. Life does things to us, but we can also do things back to life. Life and us become equals. It often surprises us, making us pause spontaneously. But we can also choose to pause and surprise life back. We develop pausing into a skill, perhaps the most basic skill of all. Pausing is how we make breathing space. We pause for as long as we need until we get a sense of breathing space. And when we have it, we make our choice. This is the skill of pausing. Pause, breathing space, choice. Like 1, 2, 3. often or seldom. As a spontaneous behavior, pausing happens to us on life's schedule. Sometimes it would seem to happen frequently, and at other times more seldom. As a conscious skill, however, pausing can be practiced as often or as seldom as we wish. Here, it comes down to personality and whether we identify ourselves with frequent or sparse pausing. It also has to do with vocation and way of life. Pausing both feels different and leads to different effects depending on what kind of situation we find ourselves in. Short or long? A single pause can be short or long. Some pauses need only last for a split second, and other pauses need several hours to be effective. Again, whether a given pause should be short or long depends on what kind of situation we find ourselves in. And later in this book, we will discuss some different typical situations where pausing is handy. Pausing for a split second often means that we simply make some small adjustment or pivot in our decision making. Pausing for a few seconds often means that we recognize something or observe something as noteworthy, like a moment of reflection. Pausing for minutes or hours often means that we are in contemplation about complex relationships or truths in life. Alone or together? We can pause by ourselves or together with other people. During our pause, we will notice somewhat different things depending upon if we are alone or not. Pausing when alone often makes us notice personal complexities and memories. Pausing when together with other people often makes us notice the social dynamics between us. It is interesting to alternate pausing alone and together. A given point of focus can have many sides to it depending on whom we are pausing together with. Also, the same given point of focus can change and develop for us even as we pause alone at one moment, and then later at another moment when some time has passed in between. Personal desire to pause. When developing pausing into a conscious skill, it is important to find a personal way of doing it. Pausing is intimately connected to our feeling of integrity and identity, so it needs to be developed with concern for our personal desire to do so. At some times in life, we will naturally desire to pause often and with curiosity. At other times in life, we will detest pausing altogether. So, as our desire goes up and down, we will know those fluctuations as indications as to how we feel about things. Pausing could never be effective if we would try to force it. In the next chapter, we will look at an initial way of defining and relating to money, which makes sense in the context of pausing. My ambition is to look at how pausing and money potentially affects one another, and to see in what ways they are related or not. In this I am asking some benefit of the doubt from you, the reader. It is not clear to me as I am writing this book what will come out of this, or what conclusions I will feel confident in drawing. To me, pausing is intuitive, but money is not. I am interested to see in what way our outlook on money in itself can be transformed as it is viewed in the light of pausing. For many questions of the soul, pausing has a casual and easygoing feel to it. Pausing is how we make breathing space. And it will be fascinating to see how such a sense of breathing space might transform what money can mean to us. Money often surprises us, making us pause spontaneously. But we can also choose to pause and surprise money back.